From building rules to transportation, the Lagos Traffic Radio has marked a decade of traffic reportage to residents of the state. Now, the Minister of Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, who conceived the birth of the station during his administration as the Governor of Lagos State, says the Lagos Traffic Radio is dedicated to giving information about the situation of the roads to enable people plan their journey in a city like Lagos, and has performed credibly in carrying out its role so far.
May 2012, the former Governor of Lagos State and the serving Minister for Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, created the Lagos Traffic Radio to report travel advisory to millions of residents over the airwaves. 10 years down the line, the Lagos Traffic Radio is still standing strong, driving social change for commuters.
So everybody knows that.
The station is marking its 10-year anniversary, and this colloquium is centered around the sustenance of an integrated transport system as a lifeline for economic growth.
The station was established to provide qualitative service to a teeming audience of which its reach was initially within Lagos metropolis, but now boasts of a coverage area which include neighboring states. Lagos Traffic Radio is a specialized radio station designed to address the chaotic traffic situation within Lagos, also addressing issues woven around transportation, safety, and security. Until the birth of Lagos Traffic Radio, nothing, not even years of living here in Lagos, adequately ever prepared motorists for a complete standstill in the middle of the road. In the past, people sometimes doze off in traffic, wake up 30 minutes later, still on the same spot, with no clue as to the cause of the gridlock. The foremost traffic and transportation radio station in the whole of Africa in the last 10 years has no doubt become a household name among commuters and motorists who mostly depend on it for first-hand information on traffic situation across the metropolis.
The visionary leader of Lagos Traffic Radio, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, is represented by his special advisor on communications, Hakeem Bello.
As a seat sown in 2012, early in the second tenure of my team and I, Lagos Traffic Radio has in the last 10 years taken some giant strides which have enabled it to accomplish the major objectives of its establishment. And the achievements are indeed many. We've seen the documentary and we've also listened to those who spoke earlier. The major one, of course, is that it has become a public service information center for commuters in Lagos, helping them plan their journey with the aid of advanced information about the traffic situation in different parts of the state. This, to me, is an achievement worthy of celebrating. It just goes to show the capacity and tenacity of the Nigerian to excel in every area of human endeavor. Lagos State is now within reach of connecting the dots that will enable the seamless integration of the various components of its transport network. Projects like the Osborn Ferry Terminal, Mile 2 Ferry Terminal, the Lagos Blue Line, and the expansion of the BRT route, all of which Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu committed to, are the last pieces of the jigsaw to integrate Lagos transport. I recommend that the government challenges the State Ministry of Education, of course, in collaboration with the Ministry of Transportation, to introduce traffic education into the school curriculum drawn from the Highway Code and the Traffic Law for primary, secondary, and tertiary schools, in order to raise knowledgeable drivers that will obey traffic laws.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's speech is presented by the State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, and it highlights initiatives to be introduced by the Lagos Traffic Radio.
It
It is worthy of mentioning that Lagos Traffic Radio is not all about giving real-time traffic advice. It has also done remarkably well in enlightening and educating the people about topical issues, including government programs and activities, through the regular programs here daily, such as Side Mirror, and opinions which have continued to help as feedback mechanism for government to take prompt action as and when necessary. Indeed, this occasion is auspicious and a celebration of a decade of excellence in the service of the people using the power of the media. Undoubtedly, the city of Lagos has grown to become the busiest in the country on account of the burgeoning population and giving its status as the nation's commercial nerve center. Indeed, the teeming population has made it imperative for us to develop a transportation system that will serve only the current population, but also future projected population. No doubt, the cumulative efforts of successive administrations, particularly since the advent of the Fourth Republic in 1999, has given the transport sector a leap from what obtained in the past. This administration has improved on the efforts of its predecessors in providing long-term solutions to challenges of our transport system. This administration will not relent in giving you the support you require to achieve regular efficiency and effectiveness in serving the good people of Lagos State and the nation at large.
And the State Commissioner for Transportation reaffirms the ministry's commitment to implementing an integrated multi-modal transportation system in the state.
Lagos is looking at various ways in which we can move people. That's why we're constructing the rail. That's why we're revamping water transportation. That's why we are reforming the bus sector so that the bus sector would have 3 tiers. That's the bus rapid transit, which would traverse your expressway, the feeder routes, which will be on your collector roads, and then the first and last mile, which will go into the community and then bring people out onto your road. But the question remains, how do we integrate them in such a way that it becomes attractive to people like myself to leave our cars at home and then begin to use public transport? And that's why we have to look at integrations in 5 dimensions. 5 dimensions of which information is one of them. And I'll talk about the 5, I'll just mention them and then we'll then begin to ponder over how we can get this done. So the first one is the fact that we need to look at location integration. And that's why it's important that transport planners work with land use planners to ensure that you build your transport infrastructure close to where people live and people can then travel less distance.
General Manager of the station applauds the support from other agencies to the cause of the radio station.
One thing that is going for us is that we need to be creative. I think being creative will propel us even to add more value to the Lagosians that we are serving. And one of the ways that we'll be doing that is that we'll be leveraging technology once again by ensuring that we'll bring the road down to the studio. How do we do that? We tend to leverage the cameras that are being built, that are being installed on major roads, whereby the live feed on the ongoings on the road will be seen directly in the studio through technology. And by doing that, we can be giving more real-time traffic information that will be seamless. And that will really help Lagosians to even plan more as they move on throughout their journey in Lagos. All I want to we call them our stakeholders, they should continue doing those selfless work that they are doing for Lagosians. Because they do work for like 11 hours a day, and they should just keep on doing that. Apart from last month officials, we have traced people from Ogun State, FRS2, they are part of us, and even volunteers. In fact, they are the ones that you should give kudos to, because they were using their hard-earned money to give information to the station and station to the commuters.
The event was rounded off with an awards presentation to stakeholders who played significant roles in accomplishing the major objectives of the Lagos Traffic Radio.